Yeah, I know that there is a lot of debate among the general public, policymakers and scientists about what form of agriculture should be pursued in the future. My view on that is, I think, a more pragmatic view. I think agriculture will always be quite diverse. There will be more diverse forms of agriculture, and there will be less diverse forms of agriculture because one of the key demands of modern society seems to be still that people want cheap food. Unless that is changing, I think the potential for massive changes in the way this food is being produced is limited. But what I was referring to specifically is rice monoculture, so not monoculture in general. And in lowland rice, we have a very specific, let's say, agro-ecosystem in the sense that for a long part of the year, because typically 2 crops are grown each year, sometimes even 3, the land or the field is underwater. And that makes a massive difference in how this ecosystem functions, because this floodwater layer is essentially its own ecosystem. It has a high amount of biodiversity, it has large microbial activity, blue-green algae and other things that actually produce a lot of carbon and also nitrogen. And it also harbors an environment that allows for biological pest control. So putting all of these things together, that is the major reason for why lowland monoculture rice systems are extremely sustainable. We have seen that, of course, historically there are rice growing areas in which this kind of system has been practiced for thousands of years. There's never been any other crop. And if that was not sustainable, people would have died out already a long time ago. But in Southeast Asia and East Asia, if you go to southern China, Japan, and Southeast Asian regions, this is the common practice for not just a few years, but centuries and thousands of years. And we have scientifically investigated this, of course, and we understand the reasons very well. It's increased nutrient availability, increased nutrient input. It's a very stable ecosystem. It has many advantages. This is entirely different from other types of monoculture systems. So if you would try to do this in a, let's say, a wheat monoculture, and every year you grow wheat, it will very quickly be less sustainable. Or even corn is difficult to manage that way because pest problems will accumulate. You will probably mine the soil for nutrients. You can run into all kinds of problems. But in lowland rice, that is entirely different. And that's why I think one needs to differentiate in this debate. Always look at what particular environment and agro-ecosystem one is talking about when people discuss monoculture. And not just say every monoculture is bad. We have a long-term experiment at our headquarters in Erie, which was set up in 1963. And every year we grow in this field 3 crops of rice. We've been doing this now for nearly 50 years. At an intensity of management that is higher than a normal farmer would do. So it's the most intensively managed rice field in the world, if you wish. But we try to use fertilizer judiciously, not go excessive, and we also don't spray too much pesticides, very little actually, in fact. And we have now demonstrated that this is extremely sustainable for 50 years. The total amount of grain that we produce in this field every year is twice as much than what the average rice farmer in the Philippines is able to produce. So this, to me, is sustainability. And it has nothing to do really with always with fertilizers and pesticides. I mean, they are sometimes an essential part, or actually nowadays an essential part of modern agriculture, but they need to be used